Graphing equations by plotting points. Given an equation, graph by plotting points. We want to make a table with one column labeled x, a second column labeled with the equation, and a third column listing the resulting ordered pairs. And then we're going to enter x values down the first column using positive and negative values. Selecting the x values in numerical order will make the graphing simpler. We're going to select x values that will yield y values with little effort, preferably ones that can be calculated mentally. And then we're going to plot the ordered pairs, and then we're going to connect the points if they form a line. So for example number 2, we're going to be graphing an equation in two variables by plotting points. We're going to graph the equation y equals negative x plus 2 by plotting points. So the first thing we want to do is to construct a table similar to what you see in table 2. So we're going to choose x values, and then we're going to calculate y. So for x, we can choose negative values, 0, and positive values. It's important to be able to pick, at least 3 negative, also include 0, and 3 positive values. And what we're going to do is, because the equation is y equals negative x plus 2, we can plug in the value of x into the equation to determine what y is. So when we plug in negative 5 in for x, now the x we're substituting, so the negative symbol is fixed in the equation. So we're going to get a negative times a negative 5 plus 2. Well, that becomes positive 5 plus 2, which is equal to 7. So the first order pair is that we have an x coordinate of negative 5 and a y coordinate of 7. Next, we have y equals, we're going to substitute in now negative 3 in for x. Well, a negative times a negative makes that a positive 3 plus 2, which is equal to 5. And therefore, that ordered pair is that x coordinate is negative 3 and the y coordinate is 5. Next, we know the value of x is going to be negative 1. Plugging it in for x, we get a negative times a negative 1, which is a positive 1, plus 2 gives you 3. And therefore, the ordered pair has an x coordinate of negative 1 and a y coordinate of 3. And then we're going to plug in the value of 0. If we plug in 0, 0 is neither negative or positive, so it just becomes 0, plus 2, which is equal to 2. So therefore, the x coordinate is 0, and the y coordinate is 2. Next, we're going to plug in positive 1. Well, a negative times a positive is going to give you a negative 1, plus 2, which is going to give you positive 1. So this ordered pair is an x coordinate of 1 and a y coordinate of 1. Now we're going to plug in a value of 3. So we're going to get negative times 3, which is negative 3 plus 2, which becomes negative 1. So therefore, the x coordinate is positive 3, and the y coordinate is negative 1. And the last point, we're going to plug in 5. So we're going to get negative times a positive 5, which is negative 5, plus 2, which gives you negative 3. So the x coordinate is positive 5, and the y coordinate is negative 3. And then we're going to go ahead and then plot the points, and then connect them if they form a line. So for step 2, we're going to go ahead and plot our points. Our first point is we're moving to the left negative 5 and then up 7. So we have negative 5, 7. Our second ordered pair, we're moving to the left negative 3 units and then up 5. Our next ordered pair, we're going to move over negative 1 and then up 3. Our next ordered pair is 0, so we neither move left or right, so we stay there and then move up 2 units. 1, 1, we're moving over to the right 1 and then up 1. And then we're going to move over to your right 3 and then down negative 1. And then we're going to move over positive 5 units and then down negative 3. And so we can see here we can connect these points with a line, and we want to include arrows because that means those arrows are continuous. That means it keeps going on.